Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. This week, we ask, is that a burning sensation or are you just ascending? Someone knocks over the gong, the vessel is moist, the yawns could be contagious, and the coffee is hot. Also, we find out exactly what is in the biofilter on the holodeck, and the answer could become... Well, that's the end of the sentence. Where's the rest of it?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending upon where you are and how you're listening to us. Welcome back here to Starfleet Underground. We have our full crew, so everybody's here, which is outstanding. However, we did have a little bit of a mishap. We tried to get a guest. We beamed them aboard, but somehow we didn't beam all of them aboard. I will let our science officer explain that. So we're going to have a moment of oops, silence. Oops.
All we got was his hair.
Silence. So,
and that was a bad toupee.
Yeah. We didn't kill anybody.
My name is Nathan. There's more business for the golem makers. So Here we go. My name is Nathan, captain aboard this vessel here. And we have Heather.
Hi, my name is Heather. I'm the science officer. And the reason why it didn't work is because the Tribbles decided to chew on the wires. They've been extra hungry lately. I don't know why. They thought the wires looked good, so they decided to chew through them. And well, that's why we lost our guest.
I swear the access panel was closed.
Well, you'll have to analyze what the problem was there.
We're going to have to look at the security footage so I could know who I could admonish. Maybe it was too much buffer time. We have also Patrick.
Hello, this is Patrick. I'm number one and I'm a computer guy. What's going on, people?
Yeah, you're more to the computer guy, so just don't leave it at that because you're going to have to smooth over this VIP's family until we can get the golem made.
Oh, yeah. I'm also the liaison for everybody.
And, of course, the person that makes us go, we are his pack lead, and that's Rocky.
I like things to make you go. No, you lock down the access panel, and the Tribbles get into everything. I don't know if they walk around with screwdrivers or something, but they can open panels up.
I'm going to be really freaked out if they ever learn to talk. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
You don't want to know what the Tribble is thinking.
No, we know what they said either.
Edward isn't messing around with them anymore, so we should be fine.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but you do have a science officer on this ship that likes to experiment.
Somebody likes to play with furry things.
I was actually, the universal translator. I was just trying to get them to, add Tribble to it. Haven't done it yet, but I'm working on it.
Cool.
I want you to also know that you guys freaked me the freak out the other day. I'm in the galley and I saw this horrific meat thing and it was moving. I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was until I looked closer and figured out that it was somebody had completely shaved a Tribble.
They're mostly meat.
It was a naked Tribble on the thing. It is a horrible sight. So don't do that again.
Well, I was manscaping and I just figured, might as well get the Tribble going too,
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do it again, please. It was frightening.
At least lower the illumination in the galley. I mean, come on.
The Tribble reminds me of those 20th century little minion characters with the little butts and everything.
Yeah, but a completely shaved Tribble was not very attractive. I mean, it looked like the cross between like a naked mole and a snot booger. It was really not good.
Well, luckily you don't get that feeling when you pet them.
That's for certain.
But now you won't be able to not think about what they look like under all that fur.
Right?
Thanks for reminding me of that.
Once it's in your head, it will never leave.
Thank you so very much on that.
Always my pleasure.
Now, do we have any corrections from last week?
Not that I'm aware of. No emails have come in. If they have, they disappeared into space-time continuum.
Outstanding. And news. There's one thing I would like to bring up. It's not Star Trek related for the news. For those of you that remember the movie that had came out, the Black Panther, as well as Civil War, Avengers Civil War, Chadwick Boseman has passed away due to cancer. He had been dealing with cancer apparently even while he was filming all of the movies he was in. And I think that's just a salute to his ability to have chemo and to be an action star and everything else, and to keep it all under wraps. He's passed away peacefully at home, surrounded by his wife and family. So that's the news I wanted to bring up.
He also played Thurgood Marshall and James Brown.
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, Jackie Robinson. So he's made a definite impact in the short amount of time that he was making movies.
Yeah, it's almost like what Chico said in Blade Runner. Candle that shines so brightly burns twice as fast, unfortunately. He's going to be missed.
Totally.
Anybody else has any news segment?
Oh, well, I guess Chris Pine there was a podcast posted, but it was back from April. I guess he's still interested in doing Star Trek 4, so...
That's good.
That's good.
I like that.
It is.
You can get the actors enthusiastic about the gig. I think that's a great thing. I'd love to see him again as Kirk.
Because
Kirk was so good.
Yeah, he had mentioned before that he thought he was done with it. But that actually is very good news.
Yeah, I mean, the podcast was from April, it said, but hopefully it's still relevant and, it would be nice.
Yeah.
Being home with quarantinis, it gets you to think about things.
Right.
That's true.
Any other news we got?
Alex Kurtzman was on an interview with Variety, and they've posted it online, too. I've got it through trekmovie.com, and he's just talking all kinds of things about some Section 31 things, and was talking about the fans and the fan responses he sees. How when people are, constructively criticizing or maybe not so constructively criticizing, he notices. And he says you got to take it in. If you're at like a 50-50 split, whether people like what you're doing or not what you're doing, he thinks you're doing pretty much okay because you can't please everybody.
Right.
And if it's, of course, 90-10, and people are hitting you at 90%, you're really doing something wrong. But they're not at that point. He's not seeing that kind of response. So, of course, as a Trek fan, I'm very happy to hear that. And when you do see people criticize you, it is important to not just say, I hate everything, but have valid points where you're coming from, because they actually look and listen to those and think maybe they can do something differently if they want to pay attention to your criticisms. So I dig that. I like that they're listening. And I think it's cool in the age of technology. I mean, of course, you had fan mail before, but the technology is so quick and instant. You can pop a note on Twitter and they see it or somebody sees it. And it's amazing what we can do today as far as fan response. So I dig that. So he was talking about a lot of that. Also, a lot of stuff about Section 31. Go check it out, trekmovie.com. They got all the good news on the old internet.
That will be pretty cool. I'm going to have to do that as soon as I finish the coffee and we finish our broadcast out there. Is there any more news that we have here?
Yeah, I got some news. So William Shatner released a blues album last week.
It came out?
Yeah, it came out.
Oh, cool.
So it's available. And also there's a new podcast out all about the Asian actors who appeared on Star Trek, and the name of it is All of the Asians on Star Trek. So if you want to check out a new Star Trek podcast, check that out.
That sounds cool.
That is pretty cool. I'd have to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we come to one of our crew members' most favorite time of this, because she's anal, is recap of the show. So what are we going to talk about this week, Heather?
Yes, sir. Reporting for duty, sir. This week we watched Star Trek Lower Decks Season 1, Episode 3, Moist Vessel. It premiered on August 27, 2020 on CBS All Access. So first we'll start off with the teaser, the Yawns. Cerritos is working with another ship to bring an ancient artifact home. During this important meeting, Mariner is distributing the PADDDDs and has a serious case of the Yawns. This insults the visiting captain, embarrassing the captain in the process. Freeman is at her wit's end.
Yeah.
The PADDDDs.
I don't know how you guys are staying awake right now. I'm just yawning like crazy, man.
You know, yawns are contagious, right? You know, I actually was able to hold off until halfway through the opening of the opener because, you know, right where the Borg, you know, make them do that U-turn. That's when I was able to let my yawn out. But it was through the whole scene. I was just like, oh my God.
Have you guys ever been through that where you can't stop yawning and you're like in an important meeting or in front of your boss and you're seriously trying to hold it in, but you cannot stop yawning?
Yeah, not such a violent yawn like that, but I have yawned.
Oh my God, I have done that, what Mariner did, and it was like the biggest, loudest, oh my God, and everyone's looking at you, and it's like, I'm seriously trying to hold it in.
Well, you know, it's not healthy to hold stuff like that in. Sometimes you just got to let go.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get backed up.
Yeah, totally.
The one question I had is why would the captain want her in the ready room if she knows that her daughter is a troublemaker? I mean, that's just asking for it. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's just like, it happened to be she was on duty that time. I imagine she doesn't try to put her in there usually.
It's like having a special guest come on board our ship and then asking Heather to make the meal.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, so it's just asking for trouble.
When at the very beginning of this podcast, when you were talking about the shaved Tribbles, I seriously thought you were talking about my cooking the other night. And then I realized you were talking about the Tribbles.
Yeah, because like the last time where we were supposed to have a stuffed turkey dinner, you weren't supposed to stuff it with Tribble. I mean,
well, I was trying the turducken, but with Tribble, the Triduckle.
The Tribble-ucket?
Yeah, the Tribble-ucket.
It's the Triduckle. It's the Triduckle.
Turduckle, yeah.
But from what your excuse you gave, I'm going to have to verify is that you turned around and the Tribble got inside there. But come thinking about it, how did he pull the garnish in after him? So
I have no idea. I wasn't looking. I can't even tell you. I don't know how that happened.
If you're prepping turkey, just remember, if you hear it purring, don't stab it. You may want to look to make sure something didn't sneak in there when you weren't looking.
Exactly.
Turkeys don't typically purr, especially after they've been cooked.
No.
Despite the fact that she was like that and they tried to come up with a plan to make her want to transfer.
Well, that's in the next section.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. But before we go into the next section, I just want to say about this one real quick. They talk about terraforming, and I just want to let you guys, the audience listeners, know that the most famous terraforming tech was the Genesis device, which was introduced in Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, which is another Wrath of Khan mention or Easter egg, as you will. We've had like so many Wrath of Khan mentions like in the previous episodes.
It's a very popular movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the favorite movies of one of the writers.
I would agree. It's a favorite. Yeah, a mini Genesis out of this moist vessel is like, yeah, this is something you don't typically expect from original series, but in the next gen style, or we are technically post next gen, that this sort of alien technology has been discovered is kind of cool.
And this is Captain Adams, and we're taking a brief moment to apologize to all our listeners who do not like the word moist. So please be advised that because of the nature of this show, the word moist will be used several times during this broadcast. So be prepared to hear the word moist.
We'll moistly try not to use it, but you know.
No, you want to use it if it's moist.
Yeah, we'll be using it moistly.
This broadcast is brought to you by the word moist. And Section 31.
And Section 31.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my God, they're going to visit me. Yes, we are being sponsored by Section 31. Also, brief interruption. Continue.
Okay, so next, let us go on to Act 1, The Worst Jobs. So storyline A, after talking with Mariner about disrespect and failing to get through to her, number 1 suggests assigning Mariner to the worst job so that way she'll quit. The captain agrees and puts the plan into place. After a few shitty jobs, Mariner decides to make things fun with her coworkers. A contest to see who can finish first. But number 1 sees this and tells the captain that the plan isn't working, so the captain has another idea. For storyline B, Tendi goes into a room to watch the ascension of a crew member when she is distracted by a gong, which she knocks over and ruins the 2-year-old Sand Mandala. O'Connor is furious at Tendi. Tendi tries to apologize with a gift, but O'Connor is having none of that.
And there we go.
I think, even though she has her issues, the way she makes things fun is contagious. I do believe that she helps to the morale overall of the crew. And I really thought it was kind of funny, the way she was trying to make things interesting. But she does, again, answer the question of what happens when people do messed up stuff in the holodeck.
Oh, I loved that the way they treated this, because
That was so funny.
you know, she was cleaning up beep and the holodeck, you know, it was like they out of the biofilter. It was like, wait, well, what was the beep? He's like, hold on a second. What word do you think they bleeped out? You could
totally
put any kind of word in there. We know what word it is.
You know what
Everybody
word it
knows
is.
what word it is, especially this podcast knows exactly what fucking word it is, okay?
So
but still, they just bleep it. I love that. You can bleep it. It could be anything your imagination desires.
No. No imagination. Okay, it's definitely not shitting. Okay, it's not shitting. So
But
the
it's
quote,
still just as gross.
the quote is, then give her the worst jobs. And number one is like, I gave her emptying blank, or, bleep, out of the holodeck bleep filter. Ugh, people really use it for that? Oh yeah, it's mostly that. Dude, the word was cum.
It was cum.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was totally cum. Okay, I got her emptying cum out of a holodeck cum filter, and everybody's eyes on the freaking bridge like open up, like what?
You just don't mention it like that, right?
Okay, well then
Hello?
somebody had something wrong with them, because when she was emptying those biofilters, there was a green fog that came out of the thing. So there was something wrong with those people.
Not everybody's cum is a certain color. That's all
But
I'm
not
saying.
everyone, thank you, Rocky. I was going to say that not everyone is human. You're expecting all to be human colored.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which
Don't-
means
don't be racist, dude. Come on.
which means different load sizes. And if
Oh,
you guys
man.
noticed, she had 6 to 8 large containers that she was removing from there.
And how often do you think those things are cleaned? Very often.
Yeah.
I
it
am
would
never
have
going
to
in the
be.
holodeck again.
Yeah, you are. I saw you there the other night.
I don't want to
with
end up
flip-flops.
pregnant.
Just want to say it's just a dirty little secret about holodecks.
Yeah, I saw you with flip flops the other night going into one. So
Well, I'm not going in anymore.
It's perfectly sanitary,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody's got to clean it after a while. You know what I mean?
It depends on the ship. Who do we have on this ship doing it?
It's not me.
It ain't the Tribbles.
Exactly. When was the last time anyone did it? Oh, God.
All the time in the
wow.
holodeck.
No wonder it has an odor.
Oh, God.
I thought that was just your feet.
Oh my God. I thought that was your underarms. Oh,
Sometimes things get funky
jeez.
by the holodecks.
Okay.
Okay, how about ascending? Can we talk about ascending?
Yes, please.
That when she walked into the room because she wanted to see the ascension, and then she turns around and knocks over the gong and then falls on it, my heart leapt. It's like, oh my God, because I know how long it takes to do those Sam sculptures.
Yeah.
And when she hit it and it went up in the air, and it's like, and then thought she's gonna fix it real quick, replicate, the sand room temperature.
I love exactly that every time you use the replicator, you have to specify what you want and what temperature, because it has to be a certain temperature, even if it's just sand.
Oh, man. That would be something I would do. I would be the klutz that would ruin it. That would totally
You knock
be
over
me.
the one thing in the middle of an ascension that you can't knock over, the thing that makes all the noise, the friggin' gong.
And it
the
rolls
noisiest thing in the room.
middle.
Which was up on the wall, away from everybody else, not even in the middle of the room.
It was off in the corner in the safest space you could put it. She knocks it
Yo.
over.
It's like, oh, poor thing. Really? And now she's going to start a trend. Next time we go to a convention, let's see how many people are going to throw up Vulcan cool signs.
That was pretty fun.
It's the way. It's like,
Don't you
do it.
throw
You're
that
not
Vulcan
making it
gang
look
signs at me.
exciting.
I love that sarcastic Vulcan salute.
Yeah, live long and prosper, sucker.
No, she was
that
like,
shit.
live long and prosper, motherfucker. What's up?
Then she tells Boimler, don't do that. You're not making it look cool. It's like, you just totally made it look cool.
Yo.
He's all peace.
I love what Ransom did when he suggested, what you need to do is you need to give her the idea, but make it think it's her idea. And then the captain's like, I've got this great idea. I'm going to give her an idea that make it think it. Ransom just gave her the idea, and then she thought it was her idea. I just love that was the method used.
And you saw he's so used to it that he was like, that's a great idea.
Exactly. I like that idea. It sounds good. Where'd you get that idea?
Well, what about when he put his leg up on the chair and then knelt on it? I'm like,
he's got the Riker Lean.
I know. I'm like, hello, Riker.
He did that in the last episode too. They were doing the Riker Lean on the rock when he's about to get zapped. But
wasn't he looking at his biceps when he did that?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He was flexing.
Yeah. Okay,
now,
good.
A little bit of trivia for you. O'Connor, who was the person who's trying to ascend, was voice played by Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's cool.
I see dead people.
That's who ascends. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, Heather, continue.
Okay, so next up is act number 2, promoted. So storyline A, Mariner is promoted to lieutenant, which means more boring work, tiresome meetings, mundane poker games, and horrible talent shows. Mariner catches on and knows what her mother is doing. She will not cave to pressure. Brad sees Mariner gain promoted after breaking all of the rules and gets a bright idea. At that moment, there is a horrible accident on the ancient artifact ship, and an alien elemental fluid starts to turn their ship into plants and rocks. And then Brad spills hot coffee in the acting captain's crotch. Storyline B, Tendi is stressing out about what happened with O'Connor, and she is obsessed with making things right, so she does everything she can think of to make things better. All fail.
What I liked is that they touched on something which I discovered early in my career. The higher rank you get, the more things you have to do. And it was not fun. I remember when I would serve, we would go out. Of course, you have fun with all the other guys. You go to shore leave, you party, you go slumming at bars, and then you get promoted. And then when it comes time for everyone to leave, you got to go back with the officers and sit and go over paperwork, planning. And just the higher you get, the more less fun it becomes. And you start wishing, it's like, I need to do something to either get myself lowered in rank or not have all this extra stuff. And I thought it was pretty cool that they showed that on Star Trek, that just being an officer isn't all fun. You know, there was a lot of other responsibility, but they really did make her life miserable.
Well, you did get to do some scat singing though, right?
Yeah, they really did make her life horrible. It's like the poor thing. She's got this big room and there's hardly in it.
Yeah. It's just like a lot of managers I know. They always have these like huge rooms, huge houses, huge areas, but they're never there because they're always working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you can't beat them, promote them. That's sums it up for me.
But she was taking it seriously too, which I thought was pretty cool.
The responsibility, you got to take that responsibility. If they give it to you, you if you don't take that responsibility, then you're going to fail harder than you've been promoted. I mean, you've got to be responsible about, otherwise they'll hold you responsible, you know?
But when they promoted her, the look on her face, I mean, she was so forlorn. It was just like,
I know.
No, it could have been one of those scenes.
And I swear they must have had a camera from when we had poker night, because that's how old you guys are. It's like you play cards. What do you got?
We don't go all in. This is a friendly game.
Folds.
And what about Boimler? Like, he's like freaking out that she's getting promoted. He's like, oh, what? No.
Well, yeah, it's like she can't take the responsibility, but he's jealous that it's been given to her. So Boimler's a weirdo. He's like opposite guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good way to put it.
Boimler is like Wesley Crusher grown up, like in his 20s.
Maybe. With purple hair.
With purple hair.
Nothing wrong with purple hair.
No, I like the purple hair.
Yeah.
So Mariner, she was basically transferred to salary, right? Where it's like you get the same pay, but you have to work double the time.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you can
there's
say
a
that.
reason they make you work the full day, because there's stuff that fills it.
Yeah.
Like discussions on which new chairs to get for the conference room.
No, I'm telling you, you're not sitting on it right.
Dude, I'm telling you, bean bags. We gotta get bean bags for ours. They look like Tribbles. They have the fur like Tribbles. The Tribbles will like them. Dude, we have to get them for our conference.
You think you're yawning a lot.
All of you are younger than me. I'm not going to be sitting there waddling back and forth like a beach turtle trying to get out of one.
The problem is, you
meeting.
can get in one and they're very comfortable, but then you got to get out of it. And past a certain age, it's not as easy as you once thought it was.
And I am not putting a Tribble between my legs. I'm sorry.
You already have a Tribble.
He's got a pair of
Tribbles.
A pair of tiny Tribbles.
Did you hear I manscaped?
Furry balls.
There's no Tribble between my legs.
Okay.
Are you saying that they look like the hairless Tribbles we saw earlier?
Only prettier. Only prettier.
This is not the visual. No, you're not making the thumbnail graphic out of balls, okay?
Oh, come on. It would be so much fun.
No. Thinking of my computer's officer's nuts would drive me nuts. So I don't want to do that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Audit the Audit. I got that note in there. It's like, that's one of the things
of being
funny. Okay, now it's time to audit the audit. Like, what? That's exactly what they do sometimes.
No, that was funny.
Yeah. And
did we get to the part where they fight and Mariner's like, I know what you're doing?
you want to go to that part?
Wait.
Are we there yet or no?
Are we done? Are we there yet?
No, we're there.
I want to talk about Durango, Captain Durango, because I don't know what this competition he's in. I mean, what in his Starfleet life makes him feel that he's in such competition with the other captain that they've got to take his ship and get closer to Tractor harder, and he ends up pulling a panel off that ship.
Yeah.
That's an insane competition.
What species is he? Because he looked like a pig,
He was a Tellarite.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Okay,
yeah, 'cause he looks
Tellarite.
familiar. He's a Tellarite. That's why he looks so. Yep. I knew he looked like something I remember.
I'm like, I couldn't think of what it was. I'm like, he's got a pig snout. I'm like, what is he? What is he?
He's a Tellarite.
Well, Tellawrong. He was Tellawrong in this episode.
Totally wrong. Yeah.
Is it more pig or more boar?
Well, it sounded like he was boring in the beginning.
Yeah. That's what the captain said. He's been aboard for 15 years.
Yeah.
So
one of my favorite lines on this was when the air started. They started to notice the air being modified, and it was like, "Not on my watch." It's just like, "This is your watch."
It's actually happening on your watch right now.
Right this second. Like,
Literally now.
That phrase does not work.
It's like, I will rake you. It was, the guy was, unfortunately, they did show the side that the original series showed occasionally, which was people get jealous in the 24th century, 26th century, 28th century, because the guy was jealous of her for some reason. And it's like, I want my ship to be closer.
Well, they were obsessed a little too. I mean, if you remember this, there's a quick shot of the display screen from the Cerritos point of view, and his icon was just like notated right on the picture of his ship. There's like, so she was kind of obsessed with him too, but she was winning, so it's all good.
That's going to be a backstory, which we may or may not get more of later on down the road. But she does have one up on him, and that's going to be talked about way later, because I don't want to get my science officer pissed off or jumping ahead.
Well, what's up with the ship? I mean, the ship looked like a giant bug.
Yeah, it did.
They don't make them like they used to.
You know,
in Alien World.
It was
looked
an
like a
ancient
giant
ship.
bug.
Either a bug or a really weird butt plug.
Well, we've heard that one before.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, except I don't think anybody wants their butt plug to have parts flying off in them. So It was a poorly designed butt plug.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay, I guess we can move to the next section.
Okay, moving on to the next section. So, Act 3, Storyline A. The ship is being destroyed by plants. Captain Freeman and Mariner bicker all the way to the control room as they dodge life-threatening elements. In the control room, they think of a solution and save the ship, and then they save the lives of the other crew. After such a good job, the threat of future management scares Mariner, and she does what she does best and gets in trouble and gets demoted. Storyline B, Tendi and O'Connor are fighting in a rapidly growing coral reef/ocean. Tendi confesses that she just wanted him to like her. O'Connor confesses that he was faking and could never ascend. They form a bond over this. A rock tumbles from the ceiling, almost crushing Tendi, but O'Connor pushes her out of the way and gets crushed instead. Due to his selfless act of bravery, O'Connor ascends, and it burns, and it takes forever. Good luck with everything?
That was funny.
When the captain and Mariner are fighting, and she goes, it's called being a dick.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes, it is.
Straight up calls her mom a dick.
But this is the first time she also calls her mom and does what other kids do when they get pissed off, call her by her full name. It's like, yep. Carol.
Yeah.
She goes, you're the one here trying to trick me into quitting. How's that for mature, Carol?
Yeah. So you did not just call me Carol. Whatever, Carol.
Did you guys get the Easter egg reference?
Okay, which one was the Easter?
For Carol?
Oh, I know who Carol is.
Who's Carol?
Carol Brady?
Carol Brady. Good answer.
Only Carol I know in Star Trek was Carol Marcus, which is a Star Trek II reference.
Yes, Dr. Carol Marcus.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Dr. Carol Marcus invented the Genesis device.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And actually, Captain Janeway refers to Dr. Carol in the Omega Directive, too.
Oh.
Well, this is also the second time in the very short series of Lower Deck that they've used a gas to save the crew.
Yep, that's true. That's
so
true.
Gas can be a good thing, apparently.
You got to keep the environmental systems up to par because you just never know what you're going to be pumping through it.
Oh, no. Now that you've said that, every time we go into the galley and Patrick farts, she's going to look up and smile and go, that's a good thing.
Oh, God, just please don't put perfume in the vents again. I can't stand it. Last time. Yeah, some of us don't all like cinnamon.
Oh, some people like cinnamon, but yeah.
I like cinnamon.
I just don't like walking
good.
through the corridors and you go by engineering and it smells like a Macy's. I mean, that's not going to work for me.
It doesn't.
Well, you're the one in
because
engineering, so I mean, whose fault is that?
I'm not the one running the environmental system. That's that's on another deck.
But it doesn't help because you put the cinnamon and then you go down the corridors and it smells like someone shitted out cinnamon. So it's really
crappy cinnamon.
So
it's Heather feeding cinnamon to the Tribbles and them just running around,
Yeah, you think cinnamon flavored Tribbles are a good idea.
I did not introduce the cinnamon challenge to the Tribbles. Okay, that was not me.
It was not fun. But you notice that there are some people that have the very real problem that, what is her name? The Orion girl.
Tendi.
Name. Tendi, where she says it kills me when somebody doesn't like me. And you do have people out there that are like that. They just can't stand the knowledge of someone not liking them. And she was really going out of her way, bringing him metrodomes, all this other stuff.
It really affected her. I mean, because I think she's a generally likable kid. I like her a lot. But yeah, the one guy that doesn't like her, it pisses her off. I mean, the funny thing about this episode, I just kind of reflected on when I rewatched it the second time. You watch it and it's got the warning in the beginning of the episode. It's like, this one has V for violence. It's Tendi being violent because somebody doesn't like her. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Was that what they were talking about?
That's what I think. Because what else was violent? I mean,
the rocks crashing through the ships. And,
I mean, that's not violent. That's just kind of stuff going wrong.
I mean, the guy did die, and then sort of like his spirit went up, and then he burned, and he that was sort of weird.
Well, it was funny because Tendi, she just latched onto him. She's like, I'm about to die with my best friend.
Yeah, it was a 180 flip, right? I mean, all of a sudden, just like they're like, oh my God, I'm kissing you. I was like, wow, that's a big change. I was not expecting that.
But violence is Boimler not knowing the right timing to do stuff. He's so pissed off.
Especially a hot coffee. Oh, my.
I know. You're in the middle of an emergency.
You just don't.
Red lights are flashing.
I mean, the most wrong time to throw a hot coffee. I mean, there's a good time to throw a hot coffee, but come on, right in the middle of a crisis, you crotch the first officer with the hot coffee in the middle of everything going wrong. That's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
And just prior to that, he brings up Moriarty.
Yes.
I know. It's like, what the hell? His logic is binary. It's like, I am good. I'm getting promoted. She was bad. She got promoted. Ergo, I should be bad.
Yeah, that's when things go horribly wrong. Is like, I'm going to be the most bad ever. You're still on comms. Sorry.
It's not even like a good bad. It's not even like, it's
like completely inappropriate
it's
bad.
It's not con bad.
It's not creative, dude. It was just a hot coffee.
It's Barclay Bad. It's Barclay Bad.
Yep,
Oh,
you
man,
named
yeah.
it. You totally got
It's
it.
like-
That's what it is.
It was totally Barclay.
It was Edward Bad.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, walking down the corridor with no pants on Bad. It's just like,
How long do you think, how many episodes are we going to get before he starts walking down the corridor completely nude? I mean,
don't
we're
know.
going to get some of it because there's some in that trailer. The opening trailer, he was doing the log nude.
oh,
So at some point, Boimler's going to get naked, and this is going to happen. So,
Are his pubes purple too?
spoiler alert.
But what's funny was when O'Connor, when he was becoming the energy being, he's like, I'm trying to get to pure energy. And Tendy's like, why is it taking so
I
long?
love that so much. I was like, why does it hurt?
that was
Yeah.
funny. It burns. Oh my God.
burns.
He was literally
Usually,
being ripped apart.
When it's burning, you're not ascending, you're descending, right? You're not supposed to have a burning sensation when you ascend.
And then he's like, I can see everything. Everything's on the back of a giant koala. Why is he smiling? What does he know?
Crazy.
He's smiling.
And the secret to life is, and then nothing. He goes away. It's always that one moment when you finally figure it all out and want to tell everybody, here's what the secret is. Click,
And
nothing happens.
then the sensors die.
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that.
Oh.
Was funny. That
Don't
was
censor
funny.
the censors.
She's making fun of you, dummy.
Oh my God.
Are you making fun of me?
Are you making fun of me?
That was so funny.
Everybody
You know I
knows that I
mispronounced
mispronounce words. You guys do that to me, but it's good natured.
Well, and she knew exactly what she was doing because she was like, when her mom said, you know, we could work together forever, mommy and daughter team. And she's like, no. So like you could see in her face, she was calculating. She was thinking, she's like, what can I do to like screw this up? And that was
And
it.
she did.
Yes,
Yeah, she did.
Took care of that real fast.
You can't make fun of senior people. Well, I remember we got in so much trouble when we were going through learning electronics and stuff. We had a NCO that was in charge of all of us, and he sounded like Elmer Fudd. He literally talked like Elmer Fudd. And one day we get into our mind. So mind you, this is a formation with like 8-10 other classes of 30 to 40 people. And there's a corporal that's in charge of each of the classes. And in the middle of it is a staff sergeant who calls the roll to see if everybody's there. So he went up and he gave the morning report. It's like, class 7 all present or I count at 4. And we all turned around and went,
Shh, be very quiet.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
hunting rabbits.
Yeah, you do that at the wrong time. You get into big trouble, right?
Oh, yeah. We get reamed out and had weekend duty that weekend because he did sound like Elmer Fudd. I mean, the guy is like, the class needs to line up and get ready to go in.
Oh, man.
my God.
Yeah, how do you keep a straight face like that? That's
That's
tough. That's a challenge.
Yeah, it really was, unfortunately. But that was funny, and they did get together. So once again, my summation is correct. She would make a great officer one day if she took it seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Decided to, yeah.
Oh, no, she's going to be a fantastic captain at some point. But right now, she's just the one that's like, oh, my God, what is she doing this time?
But you notice that they're both the same.
Mhm.
The mother and her, they both have the same type of temperament, and
That's why they butt heads so much.
yeah,
Completely.
you know. And she even kind of looked at her. It's like, you read the briefing.
She's like,
Yeah,
only so I
ironically.
can make fun of you. Only so I can make fun of you.
Deep down inside, she really is proud of her mother, and her mother's really kind of proud of her. It's just infuriating.
And, you had that little moment when there's just before that briefing at the end, and she's like, she does the finger lick thing and get that smooch off the side of your face. That's out of love, but at the same time, it's like it goes right to the core of things parents do to kids that drive them up the wall. It's like, I mean, when I was a kid, sure. I mean, a little kid, yeah, I get it. As a full grown adult, don't just grab your finger and lick it and grab something off my face. That's disgusting.
And then say mommy daughter after that.
Right. Just weird. The funny story when I did movies, when we were shooting like independent horror films, we had this makeup guy that had like, fortunately, I wasn't an actor. I was a camera guy. I didn't have to worry about this. But the actors told the story. He would lick his finger and he had the most disgusting breath on the planet, like bad coffee morning breath, like horrible.
hell
Lick his
no.
finger real quick just to get that that little speck of paint or makeup or whatever that was on the actor's face just to get it out of the way. And they're like, dude, what are you doing? Like grab a paper towel in the water and do that. Don't lick your finger. What the hell?
Oh, gross.
Yeah, gnarly. I mean, it's not as bad when a parent does it, but still, it's just kind of like, it's like a line you should draw.
No, you don't do that.
Yeah, no one wants your cooties.
Thank you. It's just like, especially if you get stank breath. I mean,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's bad. It's real bad.
Ew.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I've grossed everybody out. If you haven't been grossed out by the cum filter from the holodeck,
right? Well, it'd be worse if you had holodeck cum filter breath.
Oh, don't lick the cum filter. Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
I wonder if the holodeck reuses the cum that was put in there. Like if they're doing the simulation and someone like birds come out, if they use that like.
It's environmentally, it's designed to recycle and, rejuvenate.
Well, it's only photons and light. So, I mean, come on.
But they make it real.
It's sanitized, but you're right. The material used is probably, even though it gets digitized and it becomes a force field and, yeah.
And they
disgusting.
even add salt to it.
It's sanitized for your pleasure.
Yes, indeed. Just the right amount of salt.
Moving on.
Oh my God. I'm going to look at the holodeck strangely again, but now I'm going to have to look at the maintenance logs and see when's the last time ours was cleaned out. So that's
just don't be looking at them logs too long.
Yeah, because somebody's in there a little too long.
Don't correlate the logs with the camera feed from the holodeck that it records as a backup.
Oh God, there's a camera there.
Remember, the security feed.
The sensors will track everything.
I didn't know the camera was in there.
It's security. I mean, it's just in case. It's not. We just don't access that feed, but there is one.
Which crewman is in charge of security? I don't trust him.
I will tell you that I stopped watching when I saw the one that you started up, Heather. You had this look I've never seen in your eyes before, and you splayed your fingers and tapped them together like an evil professor. You had your hands and you're tapping your fingers like an evil professor.
Damn,
and you had this weird look on your eye. Yeah, it was not. And then I assumed what you was going to do, so I stopped watching it when you was like, holodeck, initiate Heather's freak neck.
La 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 la.
Can I transfer ships?
No, we're gonna keep you here. But I stopped viewing right after that. So,
well, that's because your retinas were burned.
That was certain. Walked by and I heard noises like De Niro. I heard things. There's things.
Passion is a good thing if it's good passion.
It was the Tribbles. I blame it on the Tribbles.
When in doubt, blame it on the Tribbles.
Unlike Tendi's passion at the end when she's like, I don't care if anyone likes me. Wait, what? Nobody likes me? Who does it? She's like strangling.
Oh, Rutherford was like, experienced the wrath he was not expecting.
Right?
Like, who told you? Who doesn't like me? Ah!
Well, I mean, knowing how good he fights and everything, at least he didn't use that on her.
Yeah, he didn't have to activate defense mode.
Right? Cyborg.
The one thing I dig about this episode, and it was the thing with Rutherford, he wanted to monitor power fluctuations in the tractor beam, but he wanted to mount. He wanted to do the impulse relays, and he ended up with the tractor beam.
Mm-hmm.
And power fluctuations are generally pretty cool to watch. It's basically, let me equate it to you in modern day technology. It's blinking lights. We like to watch the blinking lights. That's something engineers like to do.
Okay.
That's why we like the big light display on our stereos.
Oh,
sure. Amplitude fluctuations were cool.
Oh, my
Some
goodness.
of us maybe nerdier than others.
I'm surprised the cat species doesn't like engineering more than because of all the lights. Maybe they like medical because of all the lasers.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I can't wait. I don't think we haven't seen the scene. We've seen the teaser shot of it in one of the teasers they put out with the Borg with the laser beam thing, and it's just chasing the laser. She's looking at it on the floor.
Catians running around chasing the Borgs.
The Borgs are their best friends.
Come on, kitty.
It's very easy to distract occasion.
That would be funny. This was a good episode. I think each one, there are people out there, of course, whenever you have Trek that they don't like whatever it is. And then 5 years down the road, they change their minds and say it's the best Trek ever. But I am really enjoying Lower Decks. It gives a whole nother view. And I think it's one of the few times is that Star Trek is successfully expanding the universe. So I'm enjoying it.
Well, it's cool the direction they're taking it too, because we've had animation before. I mean, some of us grew up and saw the animated series, and that was very cool on its own. The fact they could do sci-fi stuff in animation that, to a show that you couldn't do it in reality. You couldn't, back then you couldn't. I mean, today we can synthesize whatever we want on screen, but to throw your imagination into the world of animation and then to do it with comedy is so freaking entertaining. It's so funny. I love what they're doing with Lower Decks right now.
I forgot. This should have been part of the news segment, and we completely missed over it. The first season of Star Trek's Discovery is going to air on CBS.
Actual CBS broadcast.
Actual CBS, September 24th, 10 p.m., first episode. So, yeah.
Does that mean we won't have access to it on CBS All Access?
No, you still have access to it. It's just all the people who refuse to pay for it will now get a chance to see it for free.
I think it's cool. I don't understand the entire I mean, we're living in multiple worlds right now because you've got the streaming world, you've got the broadcast world, and they're fighting each other for life. I mean, they're not directly competing with each other, but they are. But it's cool to say, we've got this show that is really, 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 really popular on our streaming network. We're going to broadcast it. We're just going to, here's the first season. Go for it.
I think there's a reason for that. One is because there are some people out in the four corners of this universe that have not watched Discovery yet. And refuse to pay for it. Those are the diehard ones. So now they're going to have a chance to see it.
Yeah, the other reason, though.
And another is because they're out of programming.
Yeah, COVID has put everybody on pause. And, we've got this on tape over here. Why don't we just pop the tape in and play it for everybody? Because we got nothing else going on.
Yeah, we can't film anything new. We've canceled Hawaii Five-0. We're going to reboot that.
And it's a damn good series. It's got, winning awards and stuff. People kind of like it. So why don't we just show it to everybody? Great idea.
And it's got a person of color as the lead, so we could check that box.
Oh, if we want to check boxes, it's a good box to check.
It's got a woman in charge. We can check that box. It's got a gay couple on there. We can check that box. Hey, look, we're progressive. Put it.
What did you say?
They have a gay couple.
Oh, my goodness.
It's also a damn good show.
Yes, it is. It's an awesome show.
What are they going to do when Tilly swears?
They'll bleep it.
It makes my sensors beep and beep and beep.
Are they going to bleep or are they going to change the word? That's what I want to know.
They're going to bleep and bleep and bleep.
She's going to say frick instead of fuck.
Oh, I hope she says fuck.
They'll probably have it that way. They'll probably have it when they bleep the word because it's on that word.
Oh, yeah. They're going to totally bleep it.
If Lower Decks can curse as much as they've been cursing, dude, they can have Tilly curse.
Yeah, but they'll change the word.
No, they won't. But they won't. It's on broadcast TV. Yeah, they won't do it. It won't get past the censors.
You technically could say whatever you want on TV, but if you say something that gets complaints, then if you really offend the audience, then
the censors will come after you.
Lower Decks is made for 14-year-olds, and they say fuck and they bleep it out.
But that's true.
It's
and it's
not
a streaming
TV,
show, though. It's not a broadcast TV.
It's
you're
for
literally
14-year-olds.
transmitting over the waves.
Exactly.
Is it made? Is it really, or is it made?
14. It's
Does it say 14?
Oh no! It says anybody you have to be 14 or older to watch it.
Interesting.
That's what it means. It's animation 14 and older. But the thing is animation, so you can kind of get away with the bleep. But on network TV, in order to keep people within the scene that make it realistic, they'll probably change the word. So when Tilly turns around and goes fuck, they will have a voice actor or maybe
probably say
come
frack
in and say the word frack. But as long as it matches up, because it's like, it would be like me going, I really don't like the fucking way this. So they have to kind of match it up, or else it's going to take them out of the scene also.
And the thing about CBS, wasn't CBS the one that showed Janet Jackson's nipple? Were they the network that did that? I think it was CBS.
Don't even get me started on that. That was
The huge thing in the broadcast industry is her nipple, and they had to invent entire business of designing systems that can loop things into a delay. So you had to delay your video and audio feed, so you can hit the delay button and the censor button in case somebody shows a nipple. You can hit the button and it does other things. There's a whole thing that got invented because of her fucking nipple.
Those censors really made me mad because I swear to God, like there's something wrong when you can have violence and shooting and death and blood and gore and everything is fine. But my God, if you see a tit.
Oh my God. That's the one problem with us Americans is our stupid censoring schemes.
Well, first off, there's a whole list of things that was wrong with that. One, the Nipple-gate, as they put it, was only on the screen for a split second. It wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
Two, now all of a sudden you supposedly had all of these church groups that are watching at the same time, and they were so mortified. Chances are it's because they kept backing it up and pausing to see what it was, and then they're going to discover that they're mad.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, then also, the other thing that was really messed up is, one, she didn't do it. Justin Timberlake reached out and grabbed the front of it.
That's true.
He gets no blame.
He gets away with scot-free, and he's the one that caused the whole problem. Yeah.
Now, my memory...
And it's her fault.
My memory is...
That's messed up.
My memory is really like, okay, this is old. So didn't she have a pasty on her nipple?
She had a piercing.
Yeah, it was a decoration thing around it, but you could see it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is that, first off, she wasn't the one that did it. It wasn't her thing.
Yeah, the guy's not supposed to just rip off somebody's clothes like that. That's totally inappropriate as far as us Americans are concerned. I mean... Yeah,
he grabbed it and pulled it off, but
totally
yet
wrong.
She gets the blame.
Like, what the hell?
You're a woman because you have a fun bag and you and then you allowed it to be
This is her fault.
It's your fault.
Everybody remembers that. That's exactly right. It's totally wrong.
I don't mean to get all pissed off, but it's the same thing when it comes to school. Why do women have to dress in order to not, the girls have to dress in high school in order not to tempt the boys? Why not fucking teach the boys not to act like horny little bastards?
Exactly.
Why are you going to put the thing, why are you going to make the girls to grow up so mature ahead of their time and go, well, let boys be boys? Bullshit. You have women that grow up and let's say they are going to be lesbians. You don't see them turning around and wanting to jump on other women and, oh, she showed her strap, I couldn't control myself. Bullshit. You teach the boys not to be horny little bastards. It's just, you shouldn't have to go that way.
Self-control.
And then turn around and have a double standard like that. Oh no, she brought it on herself because how she was dressed. Yeah. It's like, no. And Justin, like I said, had no problem. His career didn't take a bump. He didn't have to go into hiding.
He just goes right, he jokes about it. Oh, it was a wardrobe malfunction. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
So how is it her fault? Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It really,
this issue of censorship. It's a good rant to get onto. It's one of the strange things about us because everybody goes to the movies and sees things and everybody talks about how Americans are so liberal, but look at their media. Look how censored they are. It's just, you're right. And you look at sex versus violence. We have so much goddamn violence. This is a problem. No. I mean, sometimes we like it. I mean, I like my violence like cartoon style. I mean, if it feels like it's a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, I mean, that's more fun, but sometimes the violence is just disturbing and we encourage it, Yeah,
throw an Acme anvil at me, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that got me on a rant today is that there was this shooting that happened with this 17-year-old and the rifle that happened on Earth. And apparently there was a militia group on Facebook, which people warned that they were getting together to go to join the Black Lives Matters protest. And they told Facebook they're promoting violence, do something about the group. And Facebook didn't do anything.
It was reported 455 times, apparently.
Once it happened, Facebook went then and banned the group. But they take too long to do that. But post a nipple.
Right.
And then you get insta-banned for a week.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, Facebook is such a huge thing. And you think, how hard is it to maintain this thing? I mean, you also look at YouTube. YouTube is such a huge, ginormous engine of video. There's so many minutes of video uploaded every day. I mean, it's insane how many minutes. And you just can't go watch everything. Well, we got to go, figure out the algorithm to make it figure it out. No, I mean, somebody's got to watch this stuff and figure out if you're really going to censor it, somebody's got to look at it. I mean, you've got to employ an entire civilization of people to maintain this because it's insane. It's all insane. It's crazy. How do you put a handle on these things? And then, and then Facebook, the same thing.
There's a person that I know of that is a progressive on doing this stuff. She posts things on Instagram and Facebook, and she uses the blurry to blur out her entire breast, and they still banned her. You can't see anything.
Yeah. It's crazy. You could suggest it, and so there's like a weird, it's not a standard. It's constantly shifting. It's like it's a variable.
Well, I know guys on Facebook who take pictures of themselves completely naked with just something barely covering their dick.
Yeah.
And they don't get banned.
Yep.
It's a double. I didn't mean to go off on a political rant like that because we're getting close to the time we have this.
It's a really interesting subject. We could totally have another show on this.
We might if we run out of stuff to say. Because,
so we can't figure out anything else to say. Oh, how about that nipple?
Because we need to make an appointment on the planet to get that golem for our guest. So when you have a moment there, Mr. Hall, could you please contact them and let them know that we have another request for a golem? And we do. Heather, how much gold plus platinum do we have left? Do we have enough to pay them off?
I don't know, but we're getting to the point where we're ordering so many numbers, so we should be receiving a discount here pretty soon.
Oh yeah, they give you throw a bundle in there together. Yeah, you get to a certain point, they put you into the bundle program.
Right. The more you order, the less the price is.
We get a discount.
After our 10th one, we get a coat.
Can't we just replicate a golem?
No, we can't do
There's
it.
an
It's too
idea.
complex.
Well, the cum filter,
That's not a bad idea, though. I'm going to look into that.
Find out if we get like after 10 golems, you get like a free cozy or something.
They punch a card. You see, you get the holes punched in your card, and then then you get into the bigger program.
You get one golem for free.
Like you get a free car wash afterwards. Yeah.
We can take the Starship in for a wash.
Now, a little bit of homework here. Heather, what is their next assignment?
Our next assignment is the next Lower Decks episode.
Which is?
And that title is?
It's not out right now.
Oh, we don't have the title still?
I have checked multiple sources, and there is no title for the next episode.
Oh, it's a gold star. Gold star next to it.
But that teaser they showed, I loved the teaser. It was so cool. Boimler's got a girlfriend.
I know.
And she's
going to be so cool.
Who would have thought the guy with purple hair has got a hot girlfriend?
I thought it was really funny.
You're right. It just says episode number 1.5.
Yep.
Oh, really?
I think it's really funny. It's like, do we going to meet your girlfriend? Do we have to go and see her on the holodeck?
Yes. I was like, of course. Of course she's going to say that. It's like, yeah, Boimler's got a girl. Yeah, on the holodeck he does.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny. Is her name Minuet?
That's where I meet all my boyfriends.
I tell you, he doesn't have a girlfriend. He's got several girlfriends on the holodeck.
I'm going to tell you, it was a very enjoyable episode. And for those of you that are out there, thank you so much for joining us here at Starfleet Underground. Make sure you stay safe, hydrate, and remember, just don't have a great week. Make it so.
Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.